Two pieces of legislation are about to decide the future of crypto in America. One is already law. The other is in a race against the clock in the Senate right now. The Genius Act created the first federal framework for stablecoins. The Clarity Act, if it passes, will finally settle the question of whether your crypto is a security or a commodity and which regulator gets to control it. Together, these two laws will reshape every aspect of the crypto industry, from the tokens you hold, to the exchanges you use, to the DeFi protocols you interact with. If you own any crypto at all, you need to understand what is happening. Subscribe and hit the bell. This is the most important regulatory update of 2026. Let us break it down. Let us start with the one that is already done. The Genius Act, short for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins, was signed into law on July 18, 2025. It passed the Senate 68-30 and the House 308-122. That is strong bipartisan support, which is rare for anything crypto-related. So what does it actually do? For key things. First, it creates a federal licensing framework for stablecoin issuers. Only permitted issuers, meaning regulated banks or specially approved non-bank entities, can issue stablecoins for use by Americans. Second, it requires one-to-one reserves. Every stablecoin in circulation must be backed by U.S. dollars, treasury bills, or equivalent liquid assets. Issuers must publish their reserve details monthly. Third, it explicitly says stablecoins are not securities. This is huge. It means the SEC does not regulate them. Instead, they fall under banking regulators like the OCC and state agencies. Fourth, and this is controversial, issuers cannot pay interest or yield to stablecoin holders. The law wants stablecoins to be a payment tool, not an investment product. Now here is the one that really matters for most crypto holders. The Clarity Act, officially called the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, passed the House in July 2025 with 294 votes in favor and 134 against. Every single Republican voted yes, and 78 Democrats crossed party lines to support it. But it has been stuck in the Senate ever since. 2 markup attempts were canceled. And right now, in May 2026, the Senate Banking Committee is expected to finally schedule a markup hearing. So what does the Clarity Act actually do? It answers the single most important question in all of crypto regulation. Is your token a security or a commodity? The bill creates something called the mature blockchain test. Once a blockchain network is sufficiently decentralized, its token transitions from being treated as a security to being treated as a digital commodity. This is the framework the entire industry has been waiting for. Let us talk about the real-world impact. Who benefits and who gets hurt? The biggest winners are established players. Companies like Coinbase and Circle have been begging for regulatory clarity for years. Clear rules mean they can finally operate without fear of random SEC enforcement actions. Institutional investors also win. Banks, hedge funds, and pension funds have been sitting on the sidelines because the legal framework was too uncertain. Once the rules are clear, billions in institutional capital could flow into crypto. But smaller players face real challenges. Under the Genius Act, you need to be a permitted issuer to create stablecoins. Small, decentralized stablecoin projects may not be able to meet the compliance requirements. DeFi protocols are in a gray zone, and the SEC loses jurisdiction over a huge chunk of the market. Quick pause before we continue. If this breakdown is useful, subscribe. The Clarity Act has massive bipartisan support. It helps more people find this content. But 3 specific issues are holding it up in the Senate. Kill the Clarity Act. Issue number 1, and what it means for your portfolio. The Genius Act says stablecoin issuers cannot pay interest to holders. But exchanges want to offer stablecoin rewards through third parties. Banks argue this is a backdoor around the prohibition. This single issue has caused 2 markup cancellations already. Issue number 2, DeFi provisions. How do you regulate protocols that have no central operator? The Senate is debating whether non-custodial software developers should face the same rules as centralized exchanges. Issue number 3, ethics. Democrats want provisions barring senior government officials and their families from holding or profiting from crypto while in office. This could derail the entire bill. Galaxy Research currently puts the odds at roughly 50%. The window is narrow. If the Clarity Act does not pass this year, the consequences are significant. First, regulatory limbo continues. Without clear rules, the SEC continues its enforcement by lawsuit approach. Every crypto project wonders whether they will be the next target. Innovation stays offshore. Second, the timeline resets. A new Congress means new committee compositions, new priorities, and the entire legislative process starts from scratch. Failure this year could mean waiting until 2030 or beyond. Third, the current progress is fragile. All the regulatory wins so far are substatutory. A future administration could reverse them. Only legislation makes the framework permanent. So what should you actually do with this information? First, understand which of your tokens might be classified as securities versus commodities under the Clarity Act. Bitcoin and Ethereum are almost certainly commodities. Closures and regulated issuers are all positive. Third, watch the Senate calendar closely. A Clarity Act markup could move markets. Passage would likely be bullish. Fourth, DeFi regulation is coming regardless. Position yourself in protocols that are already building with compliance in mind. And fifth, stay flexible. Regulation creates both risks and opportunities. The Genius Act is law. Stablecoins now have a federal framework for the first time. The Clarity Act is the next domino, and its fate will be decided in the coming weeks and months. Whether Clarity passes or fails, the direction is clear. Regulation is coming to crypto. The question is whether it will be smart regulation that fosters innovation or patchwork enforcement that drives the industry offshore. Subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss our coverage when the Senate makes its move. This has been AI Unchained. Stay curious, stay informed, and always do your own research.